The owner of the franchise is confident that all signs point to the quarterback sealing a deal with the Steelers in the coming days. This belief stems from a series of indications that strongly suggest the player will indeed join the team soon. Let's take a deeper look at the comments surrounding the situation and the reasons behind the growing expectation that the athlete will sign with the Steelers in the near future. There are also the latest remarks from the head coach, who claimed to be comfortable with having a quarterback in that position as a starter. However, this statement needs to be taken with a grain of salt, as it shouldn't be interpreted too literally. In addition, we'll discuss the urgency the team feels in securing a new contract for such a vital player before another important deal is finalized. Moreover, the league's recent regulatory changes, presented during the owners' meetings in Florida, will be explored, touching on topics that could have a significant impact on the team's plans moving forward. But before diving into these subjects, it's always worth remembering that it's possible to keep up with the latest updates regarding the team. As soon as a decision is made, an immediate reaction will be shared, along with extensive content related to the draft. Now, let's look at what has been said about the quarterback situation. There's a positive expectation that he will sign with the Steelers sooner rather than later. What the franchise owners mentioned, we keep receiving information that he's moving in our direction, and all signs have been encouraging so far. This is a strong indication that the franchise believes the player will join them this year. When it comes to the quarterback training with a teammate in Los Angeles over the weekend, it was noted that this is a good sign. This particular development seems worth highlighting, as it fits into the growing sense of optimism surrounding his decision to eventually join the team. All indications point to the team preparing to formalize the deal as soon as he is ready to announce his commitment to the Steelers. The franchise is staying alert, and many believe it's only a matter of time before he becomes part of the organization. There's a strong sense that his integration into the team is inevitable. It's just a waiting game now, given all the evidence and various signs showing his interest in the Steelers over the past few weeks. To begin with, he has been in frequent talks with the team, as reported by several specialized media outlets, since the beginning of the offseason. These communications have been with various members of the organization regarding the potential partnership. Additionally, he has scheduled a visit to the city, which has been described as something that goes beyond just football, according to the sources. He also maintained contact with several players, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. It is known that a member of the team mentioned, during a local radio interview, that they were contacted by him through a direct message. Furthermore, he engaged in a private training session with a teammate in Los Angeles this past weekend. So, all the information suggests that, at some point, the team will sign him, and for him to make his decision, whether in the short term or over the longer stretch, it seems inevitable that he will eventually choose to join the Steelers. That being said, someone within the organization appears to be feeling a slight sense of unease. Recently, the quarterback was asked how long he was willing to wait for a decision, and he responded that it wouldn't be forever, but just a bit longer. This brings up an important question. What exactly does a bit longer mean? Is it a few days, weeks, or possibly months? The answer is still unclear. The head coach, when speaking with the press, pointed out that training camp could be the deciding factor on whether they tell him that it's too late to fit him into the roster. However, it seems there is a timeline that goes beyond where the coach stands right now. As for the latest speculation regarding his whereabouts, someone claimed to have seen him recently in Tijuana, Mexico. This person posted a video showing someone who clearly resembled the quarterback leaving a hotel in the city. The question arises, is he there for a retreat in search of solitude, or perhaps to engage in some form of alternative medicine experience commonly referred to as ayahuasca? It's not clear why he's in Tijuana, or even if he is indeed there. Perhaps the video is old. In any case, this could be indicative of him being at the final stages of a process. He may have done extensive research and formulated an offensive strategy with a coordinator, and according to sources, his contract has already been agreed upon for weeks. Perhaps the last step for him is to immerse himself in darkness or explore psychedelic substances to reveal his future intentions. Is he still considering retirement, or will he choose to join the Steelers this year? He previously mentioned gaining insights during a retreat that led him to not retire and opt for a different team a few seasons ago. This factor seemed crucial in his previous decision. If he's truly in Tijuana, it could be an ideal place for a retreat. Therefore, it seems very likely that he is in a state of intense reflection or under the influence of some substance, contemplating his future as the Steelers' quarterback in 2025. Moreover, another theory has emerged suggesting that he could make his announcement during an event scheduled for April 9th. There's a lot of speculation about whether he will be the Steelers' quarterback in 2025, and one new theory suggests that the announcement could happen at the April 9th event. This event, which will feature several notable personalities, sold out quickly, and more tickets were made available beyond the initial allotment. The event will take place on a Wednesday for those curious. As this date approaches, the likelihood that he might make an appearance, perhaps wearing something representing the Steelers, and officially announce his decision during the event becomes increasingly real. The show's hosts have commented on this, expressing their desire for him to make the announcement during their broadcast, although they suggest he has not yet accepted the invitation. This could be part of a strategy to keep the situation under wraps. At this point, what is clear is that the quarterback shows significant interest in joining the Steelers, and everything points to him becoming the team's starting quarterback in 2025. What do you all think about this? Share your opinions in the comments. Will he make his decision by the end of this week, or will he wait until next week, or even longer? Recently, the coach spoke with the media, and in a previous conversation, I shared some thoughts on his openness with the press. I didn't mention a specific player, but he made an interesting comment, stating that he would feel comfortable having this player as his starting quarterback for 2025 if necessary, especially if another player decides not to join the team. This week, the head coach talked to the press, and I've shared my thoughts on his availability. He didn't mention a specific player, but he did present an intriguing point of view. He stated that he would feel comfortable considering this athlete as a starter for the quarterback position in 2025 if needed, especially if another player opts out. It's important to clarify what this doesn't mean. It doesn't imply that the team has given up on pursuing the aforementioned player. Furthermore, it doesn't suggest that if they fail to sign him, they won't look for another quarterback, nor does it mean they see the player mentioned as an elite quarterback. What the coach is conveying is that the team is comfortable keeping him as the temporary starter and a reliable backup. In fact, if they don't acquire that specific player, they're comfortable going into the season with him as the starter. However, as for being the quarterback who could lead them to success, that confidence is lacking. The general manager and coach have reiterated their goal of winning a Super Bowl this year, and they don't believe this player can achieve that. They recognize he could play in some games and provide support, but they don't see him as a long-term franchise quarterback. The team offered him a contract similar to what another quarterback received and let him go to another team for a much lower amount. This doesn't exactly show strong commitment. So, the circulating information, as well as the team's statements, suggest that it's wise to approach their intentions with some skepticism. The team offered him a contract similar to what a quarterback received and allowed him to join another team for just $20 million per year, which, in my view, doesn't express a fully committed strategy. Information is coming to light, and the organization itself has indicated that their words shouldn't be taken literally. They said this year they plan to keep 2 quarterbacks, but it's clear they weren't really interested in any of them, as they weren't willing to offer one a salary in line with mid-level quarterbacks. Moreover, last year, they expressed appreciation for 2 quarterbacks, but neither remains with the team for the upcoming season. Therefore, what the team says about their quarterback situation should be taken with a grain of salt, which has been a recurring theme under the current management. I predict that the team will bring at least one more veteran quarterback into the mix. While it's unclear if this player will be the one mentioned, it seems plausible. But if they don't acquire him, I still believe a trade for another quarterback remains a viable option. I also consider that reaching out to a veteran player is still a possibility. There are ways for the team to improve their quarterback group, even if the player in question decides to retire or signs with another team. I believe he will eventually join the Steelers, as discussed earlier. In the end, it was mentioned that they want 4 quarterbacks in this group, with one being a veteran currently without a contract. I would love to know your thoughts on the likelihood of a specific player being the starting quarterback in the first week. Rate it on a scale from 0, meaning no chance, to 100, meaning they are absolutely guaranteed to be the starting quarterback for the team in the first week of the next season. I'd rate it around 2%, maybe even 1%, reflecting a very slim chance that Mason Rudolph will actually be the starting quarterback for the football team in the first week of the next year. However, I'm curious to know what you think about this. Now, shifting gears, it's worth noting that we have some news in the market. Recently, new 2025 NFL Draft hats were unveiled, and they are already available for a well-known team. This is the official draft hat that all selected players will wear. The design is quite attractive, with a gold brim and sleek black appearance, as well as off-white coloring with gold accents on the black brim. Any of these models would be a good choice, but the black design is the one all drafted athletes will wear. This is an exciting opportunity for fans. Now, let's talk about TJ Watt. I think the team needs to act quickly, because if they really want to secure a long-term contract for TJ Watt, they must move fast before another team finalizes a deal with one of their standout players. A reporter mentioned that this other team has already made a record-breaking offer for this player, exceeding $40 million per year, aligning with what another player received this offseason, even without the involvement of his agent. However, no deal has been finalized yet. The situation is complex, as the team prefers to negotiate directly with the player rather than going through the agent. In turn, the player made it clear that his agent should handle the negotiations, stating that he won't deal with it personally. Unless the team decides to meet with the agent, it's likely that this player will hit the open market or be traded before his contract ends. Furthermore, modifications have been made to the rules regarding touchbacks and kickoffs. The ball will now be placed on the 35-yard line for touchbacks, with the expectation that the rate of kickoff returns, defined as the percentage of kickoffs that are actually returned, will significantly increase from about 35% last year to roughly 80% with this change. Additionally, overtime rules will now mirror those of the playoffs, ensuring both teams have the opportunity to possess the ball during extra time. A significant change regarding overtime is that it will now last 10 minutes, compared to the 15 minutes seen in playoff games. The implications of these changes suggest that teams will likely adopt a strategy of deferring to their opponents during overtime, opting to receive the ball last. In this way, if the opposing team scores a touchdown, they'll need to equal it. But if they only manage a field goal, a touchdown will win the game, while a field goal will result in a tie. One consequence of this is that when a game goes into overtime, the strategy usually shifts toward allowing the opposing team to have the first possession. Teams prefer to receive the ball last because if the first team scores a touchdown, they need to match it. However, if they only score a field goal, a touchdown will win the game, while a field goal will result in a tie. This gives the team receiving the ball last a clearer understanding of their objectives. As a result, this dynamic may influence the outcome of the coin toss for overtime moving forward. Additionally, the replay assistance system has been expanded to include certain penalties called on the field without introducing new infractions. This means that fouls such as face mask grabbing, attacking defenseless players, collar tackles, tripping, and kicking the kicker can be overturned through replay assistance if a flag was originally thrown. For instance, if a flag is thrown for a face mask violation but replay assistance confirms no such action occurred, the penalty can be reversed. However, this only applies in cases where a flag was actually thrown. To illustrate, in a game between two teams on Thursday night last year, where a player's face mask was grabbed but no penalty was called, this would remain a no call because the flag wasn't thrown, not meeting the criteria for replay assistance. Moreover, according to current regulations, new penalties cannot be created through replay assistance. It seems that we'll eventually reach a point where, after observing more blatant and obvious penalties that weren't called on the field, replay assistance will become indispensable for ensuring accurate calls, especially in critical moments of the fourth quarter. It's crucial to make the correct calls in these high-pressure situations, and while this represents a positive step forward, the system is still not entirely effective. It's expected that, in the coming years, this rule will be improved. Now, what are your thoughts on the tush-push play? Should the league consider banning it? There seems to be some support for this idea. What do you think? If you're in favor of banning or keeping it, write K if you want to keep it. Personally, I lean toward a particular view when it comes to field goal block attempts, where players shouldn't be allowed to use others for leverage, as it raises questions about player safety. This also makes us wonder why it's acceptable for players to push behind a quarterback in certain plays. I totally understand that perspective. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm in favor of banning it, but I'd love to know where you stand. The conversation about the football team is wrapping up. Thank you for sticking with me until the end. Rest assured that as soon as there are updates on a specific situation and a decision is made, we will bring you live coverage. Additionally, whenever that decision is made, we will share real-time updates to ensure you get the most current information. Plus, stay tuned for more content related to the football team tomorrow, so keep an eye out. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a surprising twist that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, rumors are circulating that Dak Prescott, the Dallas Cowboys star quarterback, might soon be donning the black and gold of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Imagine the dynamic combination of Prescott's strong arm and playoff experience, meshed with Pittsburgh's storied defense and fierce determination. But what would this move really mean for both Prescott and the Steelers' future? The possibilities are tantalizing. Prescott, who has been with the Cowboys since 2016, has made a name for himself as one of the most consistent quarterbacks in the league, despite facing a series of ups and downs in recent seasons. With over 30,000 passing yards, a Pro Bowl selection, and 4 division titles under his belt, he has proven to be a force to be reckoned with. But following an injury-plagued 2024 season and a disappointing finish to the Cowboys campaign, many are wondering if a change of scenery could reignite the fire within him. Could Pittsburgh offer that spark? For the Steelers, this potential acquisition is a high-risk, high-reward move. With a storied history of Hall of Fame quarterbacks and Super Bowl wins, the team's current quarterback situation has been a topic of concern. While Kenny Pickett shows promise, the Steelers have long craved a QB that can lead them back to championship glory. Prescott, with his big game experience and leadership, could be the missing piece to restore Pittsburgh's pride. Imagine him leading the Steelers' offense, supported by a defense that's as tough as they come. Could this be the formula for success? However, the financial implications of bringing Prescott to Pittsburgh would be monumental. With a massive contract extension in place with the Cowboys, Prescott's $240 million deal, including $231 million guaranteed, makes him one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in NFL history. This raises questions about salary cap management and whether the Steelers can afford such a move without sacrificing key players or the long-term sustainability of their roster. Yet, the prospect of securing a proven leader could justify the financial stretch if it leads to another Super Bowl appearance. As the NFL offseason progresses and the rumors continue to heat up, fans in Pittsburgh and beyond are left to dream. Can Dak Prescott, with his vast experience and proven abilities, help the Steelers reach new heights? Or will this be yet another what could have been moment in the league's ever-evolving landscape? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. The road to the 2025 season just got a whole lot more interesting. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.